Na President Mnangagwa. Na President Mnangagwa. Pamberi mberi nekuvaka nyika yedu. Pasi pasi nembavha. Pasi pasi nemasabotua. Makadini zvenyu makomrades. Tinotenda tichakumbira kuti tive nerunyararo rwakanyanyisa. Ini ndinotaura ndinonzi Comrade Gvt Party. I'm the National Political Commissar of the ZANU PF Youth League. So I will have to introduce my comrades who are present here for this press conference. On my extreme left, we have Comrade Ms. Mugomo. She is the Deputy National Secretary for Environment and Tourism. Next to her is Comrade Christine Taruona, who is the Secretary for Production and Labor. To my right is Comrade John Bosha, who is the National Secretary for Indigenization and Empowerment in the Youth League. Right behind me is Comrade Vengai Msengi. He is our provincial youth chairperson from Mashonaland and West Province. Next to him on his left is Comrade Brian Munyoro from Mashingo. He's the youth league chairman from that province. And next to Comrade Munyoro is Comrade Kandira, who is our National Secretary for Science and Technology. Some of our comrades are on their way coming so that they also join us. But we also want to recognize the presence of our youth league members, mostly from Harare, who have come all the way to be part of this process. So I salute you, comrades, for taking that bold decision to be part of this momentous occasion. So I will not take much of your time. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our Secretary for Administration in the Youth League, Comrade Tendai Chirao. And I have the honor now to introduce our second in charge in the Youth League, who is the Deputy Secretary for Youth Affairs in the Politi Bureau, Comrade Louis Matutu, who will be speaking on behalf of the Youth League. The statement that he's going to give is not his. He's just a messenger on behalf of the Youth League. So, Comrade Matutu, you can address members of the press here present. Thank you.
Pass the corruption. Mazvita Comrade PC. Ndinoda kuremekedza makomrades vose kubva kuna sector for admin veexecutive yedu vari pano, but most importantly mayuth anotambura zvikuru nekuda kweunhu hwamwe vanhu abva kuHarare province. We respect you nekuda kwedecision yamatora. This is a press statement from the ZANU PF Youth League, just like Comrade Zenangam said, on behalf of the ZANU PF Youth League on this day, 24 June 2019. In no believer on Bible, 1 Peter 3 verse 14. But even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threat. Do not be afraid or frightened. I close quotes. Now this is our statement as the Youth League. Taking the message and the fight against corruption to the youth of Zimbabwe has never been easy. It's not easy. It will never be easy. And will continue to be one of the greatest challenges facing this generation and our only great nation. Isusu tingaita generation inotupa leadership. So we have said no. However, it is a message that must be embraced and a fight that must be won. Indeed, we have to embrace it and we have to win this fight against corruption. Corruption has violated the very founding principles of our revolution, and on democracy. The fight for democracy by the president, as he started the new dispensation, so that must stop. Despite the potential in our human and natural resources, the socio-economic imbalances in the nation are alarming. Vanoita mari ushawafa nayo, vanotambura ushavafa. Zvinofara kugadzirwa izvozvo izvo. Our forefathers, tingareva vana vaMukomo, vana vaMuzenda, vana Tongogara, we do not think that what you are seeing today in terms of corruption is what they fought for. I'm sure they were expecting to see a better life for young people of generation and generations to come. So this is what we are yet to correct. From all the individuals that will be exposed today, takataura zvikanzi ingano, zvikanzi zvangu zvarewa, hanzi zvangu zvarewa, takamudza vamwe vachitareva vakadaro pavakazvitaurira isinotaura pano nyika ichihwa yakaterera. So vatitafumura, we are demanding a public statement that exonerates them if they are innocent from all allegations of corruption. We are going to outline them here. We have got people who have been dealing and are still dealing with foreign currency. Yes, we understand what Professor Mtutu said, which in our view was a reaction to our move. Well, that's commendable and we appreciate it and we hope that is going to take our country forward. But nevertheless, that will not stop us from mentioning names of people who are dealing in foreign currency. Yes. There is a comrade from Bulawayo called Mlungisi Moyo. Mlungisi Moyo and Aton Logo. Nobody is Makateo finance Bulawayo. There is one Wayne Harrington. There is one Tinomuda Machakaire. This one is an honorable member of parliament. There is one, and this one, it is because when things happen in your house, your own family, as a father, and you do nothing, we assume that you are also involved as a father. John Mangudya. We have one, Elizabeth Mutsvangwa, and also Neva Mutsvangwa. And last but not least, on this particular category, we have got Gvt Party in the private sector. Vakuru vekuchinja mari necorruption. Lipson, Ngonda, vane chikambani chavo cheUnifred chavanoshandisa kusenga mari kubuda munyika nekupinda zvisiri pamutemo. Tafadzwa Musarara, Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe. Ndiye unorima wheat, ndiye unoikohwa, ndiye unoimpota, ndiye unoigaya, nevanawo vashoma vanawo. Topedzera toshaya chingwari waitengesa futi. We need some explanations to those issues. We have got Tonga Mzenda MMCZ, Diamonds kwedu. So takanga tafunga kuti pabvisi wa ZCDC, sorry. Vakuru vacho tikati zvapera zvino vanongotengesa nevasina kuaccreditiwa vanotengesa vachiita devalue our diamonds. We deserve an explanation because those are natural resources for our country and for Zimbabwean people, not for yes. Zimbabwe Miners Federation, a very corrupt organization, short-changing small-scale miners. They loot everything in the name of small-scale miners. But of course, the Ireta Rushwaya is the leader. She must be answerable. Yes. There is one Dr. Shah from a company called PCD. They are my drugs. Pharmaceuticals, vanotenga zvinhu zvakachipa vombozvichengeta vozvoafura vozvotengesa kana zvodhura. Ngavatibatsirewo with some explanation. Ndouya kumwe pakusingataugwinye vazhinji because vachihlayasa hatihli. History inoratidza kuti pano pandiri but uyu uri papa pandakambobvawo napo taiva tose kazvinhu zvaipa tinotaura government and ZANU PF officials.
Yes.
Toda kuti tihwisise kuti nyaya yaComrade Mfumira, Priska Mfumira, yava papi pavakabva vashakadza mari zvatakahwa kunasa. Yes, evidence is there, but we really demand answers with immediate effect so that we gain confidence that has been lost. Takasimbwa nyaya kare dzikawanda hadzina unopindura. We are requesting our honorable comrade and member of our presidium, the Center of Administration, Comrade Obert, to clear himself on vast of allegations. Zakawia dzina kupindurana nhasi. Our people are losing confidence and we are not specialists. In that category again, Comrade John. We would want to know whether it's true or false that there was misappropriation of funds during his tenure as the Minister of Transport. Tinozobata zinara taona dzimwe dziri mumapepa tikatsvaka nesere tikaona sekuti wareva ungangorevesa. So we are demanding answers to that effect.
Yes. Yes.
Furthermore, we are requesting that the Speaker of the National House of Assembly, Comrade Mudenda, furnish us with what happened with the Zinara report. No action is involved in what is being alleged on that report. May he please furnish us with answers immediately. Yes. Development of Zimbabwe will be stunned if young people as ourselves, particularly leaders, we fail to root out corruption. Tongotarisa nekuti tinofunga kuti vakuru ukuru unouya neunhu wako kana unhu wako usingaendana neukuru saka wasi.
Yes. Yes.
A wind of change is blowing across Zimbabwe in this new dispensation under the leadership of President E.D. Mnangagwa.
Yes.
And it is in this interest that all well-meaning Zimbabwean citizens of this country must join us in this fight. A fearless fight that we must fight together for the good of our nation, this nation called Zimbabwe. President vedu vakasovataura nekuyambira munhu wose, clear yourselves, show leadership, desist from corruption, but no one would listen. That's the reason why we have decided that in the face of all that, regaitire basa ra president, vachashuwawo semahuro amongoita, because he's not aware that as Youth League we have taken this move. But those are tighter, and we will be waiting to engage the leadership so that these issues can be corrected. On land, there are people with multiple farms. Vazukuru avo zvimwe zvikuru zvabva people who are outside the country on land, while these young people don't have land. So this is what we are saying today regarding land. Next week, we will be exposing, releasing statements, list of people with multiple farms, yes, and also those that are land barons. Yes. We will be able to announce them here again. Yes. There is an issue regarding our diamonds. Mineral resources, they belong to the state, they belong to the people, and we are the people. In the coming days, we shall also be exposing those illegally dealing diamonds and precious stones, robbing the country of the much needed foreign currency. Yes. We will tell you their names. Corruption is urgency of today and the emergence of Zimbabwe tomorrow. We have no time to deal with the issue of corruption. Our generation must take collective action against the cancer of corruption. We cannot just sing it, but we may need to dance to it. Zimbabwe's greatest hope lies in us as the youth, as the young people. Now it's time to stand up for our beloved Zimbabwe. We now need to save our collective future or watch it perish like our parents did. Zvakaonekwa kare, zvikakura, nhasi zvavakunetsa kudonhedza bhozi zvakurisa, but ndofunga patazvibatira panenge padhuze. Together, Let us make corruption in Africa a risky and less profitable venture. But now that we have identified corruption as a common enemy, we must attack it, knowing that our very survival rests on defeating it. Our unity and our defeat of corruption is based on how we're going to work together. It is indeed correct to say that we are our own enemies if we don't expose and fight that which is bad for our generation. It is indeed correct that Africa, as a continent, believes that you get power through corruption, believes that you can get influence through corruption, but our generation is saying no. You can be powerful and influential when you work honestly with the people, especially people of this country, Zimbabwe.